Hey everyone, and welcome to Hips and Hamstrings. We're going to be spending the next 20 minutes or so stretching out our hips and our hamstrings. We're going to start laying down on the mat today, so grab your strap and meet me there. All right, so find a nice place to lay down, knees bent, feet on the floor, and then you're going to grab your strap or your scarf or your belt or whatever you have that you can loop around your right foot. And then stretch that right leg up high towards the ceiling. And then from there, square your hips, soften your shoulders. Notice your spine on the mat and just let everything sink down as much as possible. Just let everything release. Let the mat hold you up. And then at that point, you can stretch your left leg out long. And then just gently pull on your straps. Very slowly easing your leg a little bit closer towards you. And when you feel like that leg is saying, no, I can't go anymore, just hold it right there. And then just as slow, start flexing that foot, reaching that heel up towards the ceiling. You're going to increase the stretch up the back of that leg. And when your hamstrings or calves say, I can't go anymore, just hold it there and breathe. Big deep breaths. Try to make your inhales last 6 seconds at least. And try to make your exhales last 6 seconds at least. And start making some really tiny movements with your leg. You can go side to side, back and forth. You can make little circles. And just notice how even the slightest change of your leg position changes that stretch. Move around a few more times. And then take that right leg, cross it over your midline, keeping that right hip super heavy on the ground. And bring that leg back to center. Open this right leg out to the side. Easing into that inner thigh stretch, nice and slow. And then bring that leg back up to center. All right, you're gonna steer your leg with these straps. So your leg is just gonna kind of go with you as you're leading it. We're gonna make some nice big circles. And if your pelvis moves a little bit, that's okay. But I do want you to focus a little bit more on just stirring that femur bone in the hip socket and trying to get a nice smooth circle. So work through any little hitches or bumps. And you can play around with the size. And again, if your pelvis is wiggling a little bit, that's fine. I want you to explore that hip joint. And then reverse the circle. Good, and then bring that leg back to center. Bend your knee in towards you, right in towards your chest, and pull on that strap so you get a little bit of resistance through that leg. And then press the leg straight and bend it again. So we're playing with how much the arms are pulling on the strap and how much the foot is pressing against the strap. Two more. And then reach that leg up nice and long one more time. Flex the foot. And slowly bend your knee. Bring that leg out, lengthen it out nice and long, and wiggle it out a few times. Out and in and out and in and out and in and out and in. And then go ahead and bring that right foot to the floor while we set up the left side. Loop your strap around the left foot, reach that leg up. Or square your hips, soften your shoulders. And then slowly start bringing that leg towards you a little bit more. And at some point, you can go ahead and extend that right leg. And when you feel like you've reached your limit and you can't bring that leg any closer towards you, slowly start flexing that foot, reaching the heel towards the ceiling. And breathe. And then start making little movements, side to side, up and down, circles. Notice how that stretch changes dramatically, even when your leg moves a tiny bit. And then cross your leg over your midline, keeping that left hip super heavy on the floor. And open that leg out to the side. And bring that leg back to center. And then steer your leg around, making big circles. Remember, focus on that femur bone stirring in the hip socket. Exploring all parts of that circle. It can be big, it can be small. You can go really high up, really far down. And then reverse. And then bring that leg back to center. Bend the knee straight in towards your chest with a good pull on that TheraBand, and then press the leg into the band. I said TheraBand, yoga band. Press the leg into the band to stretch your leg out long. And bend. And press. Really power through the back of that leg. Two more times. Good, and then gently bend that knee. Reach that leg out nice and long and wiggle that leg in and out and in and out and in and out. All right, put your strap down, grab your blanket or your towel and place it underneath your sacrum. You want to get those hips up high in the air. As a matter of fact, you can have that blanket rolled up pretty thick. All right, pull your right knee in towards your chest. And then reach your left leg out long, connecting that left heel to the floor. So you want to make sure that your blanket or your bolster, whatever you're on, is underneath the sacrum and not your low back. The more you hug that right knee towards your chest, the more you want to stretch along through the back of the left leg, out through the heel. And then point the left toes, stretching down the front of the leg. And then flex the left foot, stretching down the back of the leg. And you can keep going. Point and flex. Point and flex. And then you can choose whichever position you like better, the flex or the point. Hug that right knee deep over to the right shoulder. Try to keep that left hip on the blanket. And then bring that right knee back to center. And lengthen the right leg out long, pull the left knee in. Reach long through that right heel. As long as you can, try to touch that wall in front of you. And then point your right toes, lengthening through the front of the right leg. And then flex, and then point. And then hold whichever position you like better. Hug your left knee over towards your left shoulder. And then hug that left knee over towards your right shoulder. Left shoulder blade's going to stay heavy on the floor. And then hug that left knee back to center. And release it out nice and long. Point both toes, flex both feet. Point and flex. Point and flex. 2 more times. All right, bend those knees. So your feet are on the floor. Pick your tush up so you can slide that blanket out from underneath you. And instead, bring it up behind your head like a pillow. Take your right ankle, cross it over your left knee, and then open that right leg as much as you can. You can even push on it. Trying to open that right hip. And then you can release that push and just let that leg hang out there. Then draw that left knee in towards you. Pull that left knee in. And then keep trying. You don't have to push on your right knee, but keep trying to open your right knee towards the wall in front of you. And now flex the right foot and point the right foot. Flex and point. On the next flex, hold that flex, take your hands out of the way, collapse your legs over to the left so that right foot's coming down to the floor. And then pull that right knee closer towards you to really increase the stretch in the back of the right hip. And then press that right knee away from you. And that's going to bring the stretch more into the front of the right hip. And then release. And roll back onto your back. Left leg's turn. So keeping that right foot on the floor for a moment. Left ankle over the right knee, and then try to open that left knee up towards the bottom of your mat or the wall in front of you as much as you can. And then you can stop pushing on that left leg, pull that right knee in, hug it in as much as you can. And then flex and point the left foot. Last flex, hold it, collapse this number 4 stretch over to the right side. And pull that left knee closer towards you. Getting deeper and deeper into the back of that left hip. And then press that leg away. Good. And then release it. Roll all the way over to your side and then press yourself up to sitting. All right, we're gonna take our left leg out long at an angle. Our right leg will remain bent. We're pulling the heel right in towards the pubic bone. Sit up nice and tall and then twist over your left leg. Really find the twist first and then dive up and over. And you can grab your leg, your ankle, your toes, put your hands on the floor. Wherever you reach is good. And try to soften into that stretch a little bit more. And roll it up. Other side. First, find the twist. And then scoop through your belly, dive up and over that leg. And roll it back up. All right, make way up onto your hands and your knees. Then you're gonna curl your toes under, press your tush up towards the ceiling into a downward dog position. Bend your right knee and press that left heel back down into the floor as much as you can. And switch, and switch. Couple more times. And then come back, press both heels down towards the floor as much as you can. Shift forward a little bit, take your left foot up in between your hands. Now, grab your blanket. Sorry, I didn't tell you about that first. Grab your blanket and have it nearby. Walk your left foot over to your right hand. And then you're gonna open your left knee towards your left hand as you sink your hips down towards the floor. Now, if you need the floor closer towards you, just slide that blanket underneath your left hip. Try to square the hips forward. Those arms nice and strong, supporting your upper body. And then if you'd like to go deeper into this, hinge forward, lowering your torso to the ground. And you can bring your elbows in front of you. Melt into that really super deep hip stretch. If you want to go in even further, you can reach your arms out long and place your forehead on the ground. Curl your back toes underneath, so your right toes, and then reach that right heel towards the wall behind you. Lift that right knee up off the floor so you're really stretching straight through the back of that right leg. And then place the knee back down. Reach through that heel, lift the right knee, and place it down. Again. 2 more. And then let that knee come to the floor. Press yourself up if you were down. And to come out of this, it's a lot easier than getting in. You're just going to roll over onto that left hip. And let's get back to our downward dog, or our triangle. Tush up. We'll do a couple bent knee stretches. So bend one knee, stretch the other ankle, or stretch the other heel down. And then both heels down as much as you can. Shift forward, bring that right foot up between your hands. And then walk that right foot over towards your left hand. And then open that right knee towards your right hand as you sink those hips down. Don't be surprised if this side feels totally different. If you need the floor closer to your tush, bring that blanket right underneath. All right, square the hips, square the shoulders. Arms are nice and strong, supporting your upper body. And then if you want to go deeper, you can come down to your elbows or your forehead. Curl those back toes under. Reach through that back heel, lift the knee and release. Reach through the heel, lift the knee and release. And again. 2 more. Last one. And to roll out of this, just roll right onto that right hip and come forward. Thanks so much for joining me today, you guys. It's always great to just get a little stretches in. So let me know if you have any questions, and I'll see you next time.